Okay, hey
All
everyone.
right.
Thank you so much for joining us for Stories of Hope. Just going to mute everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Stories of Hope. Just going to mute everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for Stories of Hope. Hold on, I don't know what's happening. Thank you so much for joining us for. Okay, there we go. There was like 3 of me. That was interesting. Okay, I think I'm good. You just hear one of me, right, guys? There's not like a weird echo. Okay, perfect. That was interesting. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining me and all of us here for Stories of Hope. We do this every Wednesday night, and we hop on and hear some really inspiring stories of how Plexus has changed people's lives for the better. And these stories are always so inspiring. I am privileged here to have some of my friends sharing their story tonight. If you guys don't know me, my name is Brittany. I have been loving Plexus for almost 6 years now, but I am not going to take up any time. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my sweet friend, Megan, and everyone here tonight just has fantastic stories, specifically around GI issues. So if you are listening and you are struggling with GI issues, chronic problems, you are going to be really inspired by these stories. So I'm going to pass it to Megan and let her share. So go ahead and take it away. Oh, we got to unmute, girl.
There we go.
There you go.
My name is Megan, and I have been using Plexus supplements for about 5.5 years now. So I am right behind Britt because Britt and I have been friends for a really long time. And a couple months after she started Plexus, she messaged me and she was like, Meg, I'm so excited. I just heard this story about this guy who has been using Plexus to solve some of his GI issues. And I really think this would help you. And so all throughout my 20s, I really struggled with chronic issues of all kinds, but specifically with stomach pain, nausea, bloating, bathroom irregularity. And I was just in pain and suffering all the time, every day. I was in the hospital every month or so, and life was really just all around miserable. And so when Brittany told me about this, I was really excited to give Plexus a try. I was a little nervous too, because, when you have GI issues and stomach issues, it really can be scary to put something new into your system because you don't know how it's going to react. And so I was a little bit nervous, but I trusted Britt. We've been friends for a really long time. And so I gave it a try slowly but surely. And at that point in the game, I was really sick every day. No exaggeration there. Every day was a struggle. And I would have a couple days every week that were so bad that I would, want to skip work or not be able to go out and do the things that I would normally do. And so after about a week on Plexus, I realized, oh my goodness, I have not been sick at all this week. That's really weird. But I thought maybe it was a fluke. And so I kept drinking my pink drink, taking my ProBio 5 and my Bio Cleanse from my Triplex combo. And another week went by and I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't sick this week either. And so as I continued taking my products over a longer period of time, my issues just started to completely disappear. I was no longer going to the hospital. I could go to work and function every day. I'm a teacher, and so that's a pretty high intensity job. And it's also not one where you can just kind of leave whenever you need to go use the bathroom or do other things like that. And so the kids even noticed the difference, and they were like, wow, you have so much more energy. Wow, you're so much nicer now, because I wasn't sick and in pain all the time. And so as I consistently use my Plexus supplements, I was able to get off of the medication that I was taking for my stomach issues. It had been semi-successful at helping me, but it was still in a clinical trial, and there were some long-term complications. And so I very slowly was able to wean myself off of that medication. I dropped my anxiety medication because, having all these issues just strike at random times in my life really made me anxious. I turned into this person who didn't want to go anywhere or do anything because I never knew how sick I was going to be or when I was going to get sick or what was going to make me sick. And so I dropped my stomach medication. I dropped my anxiety medication. At that point, I had been taking 18 different pills a day to combat all of the things that were wrong with me. And so it was really nice for my body to just get a break from all that. and to be using something natural instead. And so, over the years, there have been times where, my order came a little late, or I had to miss a day or two here, and I can immediately feel a difference. As long as I am using my products consistently, my health has done a complete turnaround, and I feel great. I haven't been in the hospital in 4 years. And for me, back in my 20s, that was unheard of. If I had been able to make it 4 months, I would have celebrated that. And now it's been 4 years without one single hospital visit. So I just cannot say enough wonderful things about what Plexus has done for me, how it has changed my health, and how it has really honestly just made me a better person. Because when you're not sick and miserable all the time, you can be much kinder to all the people around you. So I am so thankful that Brittany was able to help me get started with these amazing supplements. And so as I experienced success with Plexus, and as I saw my health turn around, I started to want to share that with other people. And so that actually led me to share with the next person who's going to speak to you tonight, my lovely friend Liz from college, who, unbeknownst to me, had been struggling with a lot of the same issues throughout her 20s as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Liz so that she can tell you about her health journey.
Thank you, Megan. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay. So yeah, it was pretty amazing how we were actually going through a lot of the same things at the same time, and we didn't know it because we were going to college together and just doing normal kind of college kid stuff. But I think the two of us in particular, we're very careful about what we ate all the time. We were not eating all the junk food that our college friends were eating, and just in general trying to be healthy, but like we're kind of secretly sick all the time. I did not know this for years and years, but one of my problems is called actually intestinal migraines. I get regular migraines as well, and I thought that being sick to my stomach was part of that, but apparently intestinal migraines are a separate thing that cause a lot of nausea and just pain. And it always seems to hit in the middle of the night. And there would be nights that I would just be up most of the night, just in the bathroom, crying, praying, and just hurting. And it was really a scary time. And this was, from childhood, really. I never knew what I was going to eat that was going to make me sick, or when. I did figure out at one point it was worse if I ate late at night. I was like, oh, okay, I just can't eat at night. And so I remember one time in particular, so I live in Arizona now. I used to live in New Jersey. But Megan and I had been talking, and I think she was about the fourth person that had said to me, you have really got to try Plexus. Over the course of a few years, I had different friends recommending it to me, and I was like, no, I've tried all that stuff. It's garbage. I don't want to give my money to any more of these crazy companies. But I finally gave it a shot, and Megan sent me some samples, and they sat on my counter for a month because I was scared. It's terrifying to try something new when you're sick and you're in pain all the time. And so one day I was finally feeling really desperate and laying on the couch. And I made up one of the pink drinks, and I sat there and I like took a first sip of it, and I was like, please don't throw up, please don't throw up, please. And I didn't feel anything. And a few minutes later, I took another sip, and I didn't feel anything. And then I started drinking the rest of it, and it actually had kind of a soothing effect on my stomach. And I was like, what is happening here? I'm not only not sick, but I'm actually feeling better. Like first pink drink going into my system, I was like, this is working. And so then I started doing the whole triplex, and I was actually a little mad that it was working at first because it was so expensive. I was like, I don't want to start buying this all the time. But it really did change my life. I have 3 little girls. I'm busy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've just, got a lot of normal stuff to do. Doing normal things is scary when you're sick all the time. You don't know if you can go to the grocery store or not, because you might have to leave your cart in the middle of the store and go find a restroom. And just taking my kids to school in the morning, some days I couldn't do it because I was stuck in bed. I'd been up all night sick. And it's just incredible how much has changed. I started taking Plexus, I think it was the summer of 2019. And my husband and I had been on a vacation, and I spent so many nights of that vacation sick. And after I started using Plexus, I was like, oh, if only I had started just a few months ago, I could have enjoyed that vacation so much better. But um, yeah, so mid 2019, honestly, I just can't look back. Ever since then, it's not a cure. I'm not perfectly healthy, but all of the symptoms that I had, the nighttime illness, the hours and hours in the bathroom, everything is just lessened a lot. It's manageable now. I couldn't manage it before. I couldn't live a normal life. I was afraid of food. Eating is very frightening. I'm not afraid of food anymore. I can eat. I don't have to be afraid that it's gonna, make me sick every time I eat something. Um, Everything in general is more fun. Like Megan said, you're not grumpy all the time because you're sick. You're not afraid to make plans. You're not afraid to leave the house because yeah, okay, I'm gonna be okay. I can get through this. And even on nights when I do still get the intestinal migraines and I do still get sick, like I'm okay the next day. I used to have to recover for a day or two. And now it's like I just kind of get through it and I'm much better. So thank you, Megan, for pushing me and not pushing, encouraging me to try over and over and sending me samples. And thank you, Brittany, for encouraging her. And, hopefully it'll just keep going in a chain of helping people feel better.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
The next
life-changing.
person.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You want to introduce Adriana?
Yeah, so the next person that's going to speak tonight is Adriana, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, guys. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So my name's Adriana. I have been using Plexus for, I guess it's been about 2 years now. I was introduced by actually a friend of Brittany's, who is a customer of hers, and her husband was drinking the pink drink at work. And I was actually joking around with him. I was like, what's that pink drink? It's so girly of you to be drinking. And long story short, he told me what it was, and he gave me a couple packets and told me what they were for, and it kind of came at the perfect time. So a little backstory on me. It starts well before 2019, but all through college, I went to nursing school, and stress absolutely ruined my gut. Going through nursing school was quite possibly the worst thing for it. So it started with college, I think. I would think. And then it kind of trickled into later in, just everyday life. And I was going through some serious gas pains and bloating to the point where, and I tell people this all the time, it was to the point where you could probably take a needle to my stomach and it would deflate like a balloon. It was extremely uncomfortable. At the time, I was not dating my husband. I was dating someone else, but even trickling into dating my husband, it's a very uncomfortable feeling to feel that way. So you can imagine that going into a newer relationship, you're feeling like a little self-conscious, you're feeling just, you're out on a date and you're like, okay, what can I eat that's not going to mess my stomach up? Like all these things are going through your head and you're not focusing on what's really important. So this kind of went on for a few years, and then I got, I finally caved in and I was like, I'm going to a GI doctor. So I went to a GI doctor and he did the endoscopy, all of that, nothing came back. It was just gastritis. And I was like, you know what, that's clearly from stress. So we're going to just move on. He wanted to prescribe me a medication for it. I was like, I appeased him and I was like, sure, you can send it to the pharmacy, but I never took it. I was like, there's got to be a natural way to feel better. I'm not going to succumb my life to a medication for the rest of my life. It's just not going to happen. So I continued to kind of like research things. So many people had told me about probiotics. There's a million probiotics out there. So, being who I am, I was like, I'm not just settling for one. I'm going to really do my research. So I then actually, in the midst of it all, I went and got food sensitivity testing because I said, you know what, maybe it's the foods that I'm putting in my system as well. So I did do that. And the nutritionist I did it through also recommended a probiotic. So I kind of was in the middle of researching it when I was at work one day, when I was back on the bedside, and my assistant manager at the time was Brittany's friend's husband. And that's when he introduced it to me. And I tell you, not to like tell you that this is not a cure, but when I tell you that I use this for a month, my bloating is, I still use it, and my bloating is so significantly less. And I notice the days when I don't take it. Like for example, last week, I'm a new mom, if you don't already know, but I am a new mom, and things just, you forget to do things. And that was one of them. I woke up and I was just tending to him and then getting ready for work, and I totally forgot to grab my packet, and I didn't have it all day, and it showed, and I felt it. So, you know, the Slim Pink drink is honestly my most favorite. I'm using a couple other things, but that has been truly life-changing for me. I have since not had to go back to a doctor for any of those symptoms. It's really been such a game changer. And honestly, my husband has some of the similar issues that I had, and he's been taking it as well, and he's noticing a difference as well. So it's really something that a lot of people, and something that I'm realizing too, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same, is that people aren't going to be forthcoming about their gut health issues. They're not. It's like talking about your sexual life. I mean, it's just not, they're not going to be forthcoming about it. So this is something that can be embarrassing. But there's so many people out there that are relating to this. And I really think that it's just been such a great experience to have something that has been making me feel better, and a lot of other people feel better. And I really am just so happy that I've been introduced to Plexus. So thank you, Brittany, and thank you, Brianna, because I don't know if she's still even around in all of this, but thank you to both of you. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing, Adriana. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Meg. This was awesome. And if you're listening to this or watching it live and you're struggling with GI issues, I hope you're inspired to just give it a try, right? Like just give it a try. Literally with every system, every product from Plexus, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. So I always tell people, like, try it for 60 days, see how it jives with your system. If it doesn't work for you, I'll literally help you get your money back. Like Plexus will let you take all your products and still give you your money back if it doesn't work for you. That's how good it is. So if you're struggling with GI issues, please be inspired by these stories to just try something different. Maybe you've tried a million things, but this may be the thing that actually changes everything for you, like it did for these sweet ladies. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for those of you who hopped on to watch, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.